Shoot it up, shoot it up.
Hi guys, what's up and welcome to my new video. This video is called how to become a better controller player. So regardless of whether you're playing with a PS4 controller or Xbox controller, these tips should help you become a better player. First thing we're gonna talk about is your controller sensitivity settings. So you wanna change that into 7, because if you're playing with 4 or 5 or 6 or something like that, that's way too slow. If you're getting into a high level game where there is the matchmaking throws you against some very good mouse players, for example, or very good other controller players, you're gonna be at an extreme disadvantage close range if your sensitivity is too low. So I do recommend 7. Many other good players also recommend sensitivity 7, because you will have a pretty good hit scan long range, and you will be able to turn fast enough in close range as well. So, and when it comes to ADS and scope sensitivity, I like to keep mine at something like 0.47, if I remember right, something like that. So I put it down a little bit from the original 0.5 so that my hit scan is a little bit better long range. This is just a personal preference. You don't have to change that a lot, but the basic sensitivity, how fast you can turn, you react and you turn, this is very important, because if you're too slow at turning, you cannot build fast enough. You cannot box yourself in if you get swarmed by some very aggressive mouse players, for example. You have to box yourself in and you have to be able to defend yourself from all directions very fast. If you turn too slow, the enemies are gonna land those few extra bullets into you and you're fucked. You're not gonna win those fights. So turning on your sensitivity to 7 is probably the best decision you can make in terms of improving your performance and your gameplay. It might feel uncomfortable at first because you're not yet used to it, but trust me, it's gonna pay off. You will be able to challenge very good players, mouse players, all players, close range, and that is what you want. You wanna be able to challenge these other good players, top players in every situation, including close quarters combat. And when you get used to this sensitivity, you will be able to do that. The next thing we're gonna be talking about is using the pump shotgun. The pump shotgun deals the most damage in this game, and if you want to become a good player in these close quarter situations, which are very, very challenging for a controller player, you're gonna wanna use this pump shotgun. That is the go-to weapon for close quarters, and let me tell you why. Peeking is how you win in these games, and with that absolute monster weapon in close range, that it's made for peeking. If you are good with the pump, you know how to play this game with any weapon. That weapon is the king of the peeking. That's one shot that is very powerful. You peek, you shoot, and you get back to cover. That is exactly how you should play this game. So not only will you destroy your enemies with that pump, which is a one-shot headshot by the way, you will also improve your overall performance with all guns, because you get used to playing this game the right way. You will surprising your enemies by peeking, taking that one quick shot, quick burst, and then retreating back to cover is the way to winning those gunfights. So close range, choose the pump over all other weapons. Doesn't matter if it's the new golden heavy shotgun or if it's the purple tack. The green pump is your weapon of choice. That is what the best players use, and that is the weapon that takes the most skill to use as well. So that is what you want to practice and what you want to use in every close quarter situation. Then another thing we're gonna be talking about right here is using the high ground. And this is something that comes with the experience that you get while you play a lot, and the only way to get this experience is by challenging these other players into this fight. You wanna challenge everyone. You wanna challenge those mouse players, those very good players, all the top tier players. You want to challenge them in close quarters. So what you wanna do is you wanna start ramp rushing them. Challenge everyone, anyone you see, go and challenge them. You're gonna wanna ramp rush them and build walls in front of those ramps. Box yourself above them, force yourself into a position where they are on the low ground and you are on the high ground above them. Build on top of them and keep them below you. Then when you're on the high ground, constantly peek them with the pump. This is the way to win those close quarters fights, regardless of who you're playing against. If you have the high ground, you're gonna win. And by dealing the maximum amount of damage every peak, you minimize their chances of dealing damage to you and maximize your own ability to deal damage to them. So this is exactly why you're gonna use the pump for this purpose. It is made for this kind of gameplay. So you're gonna wanna push everyone to get that experience, because otherwise you won't be able to get it. Close quarters fights is something that takes a lot of experience, and don't worry about your win rate, don't worry about those stats. Only nerds care about those stats, alright? What matters is that you will be able to protect yourself against these furious, crazy nerds, and you're gonna have fun doing that, so that's the most important thing right here. Another thing I want to add is, I don't know, retail row is a good place to fight, but you gotta understand your situational awareness, your personal radar is not very efficient right there, because it's full of all kinds of obstacles and buildings. Anyone can be hiding, so many fights, if you want to challenge people, they're gonna land the first shot from the dark, so you're gonna be low health when you start the fight. Yeah, you're probably not gonna die when they first shoot you, but you're gonna get low health, and then after that fighting becomes a bit uncomfortable, you know. So you're gonna wanna land in places such as Fatal Fields, for example. That is a very good place. You have a very good vision and you get a very decent loot. I calculated Fatal has, I believe, 13, correct me if I'm wrong. Anarchy Acres has 12 chests, and Fatal has 13, and Retail has something like 18. So Retail has a little bit higher amount of chests. And Pleasant Park, I don't know, it's indoors fighting is not that, you don't want that. That's some kind of Call of Duty reflex fighting, you know. You wanna be able to fight in the open where you have materials. You wanna build above your enemies. So of course I do recommend also getting experience with raiding houses. If the enemy is inside the house, go to the roof, remain there and drill yourself through the ceiling and fight those enemies from the high ground. That's another thing, but most of all you want to get that kind of experience where you fight in the open by building. So if you land on Retail or Pleasant, you're not gonna get that experience, so landing there it's not completely useless, but most of the time it's pretty useless because the gunfights are very random. Anarchy, Fatal, even Moistimire, I don't know if you're able to even get a shotgun from that place. The amount of loot is very ridiculously small in my opinion in Moisty. And Greasy Grove, almost the same as Retail. I would say use those farms mostly and something else, whatever you prefer. All you need to get is that experience. It doesn't matter if you die or not. It doesn't matter, you can always start a new game. So those were my tips, and I hope you find this video useful. Go there, practice, challenge these guys, challenge those top players and become a better player yourself. That is what you want to do. So I wish you luck in your training, in your evolution from becoming a slob into becoming a beast, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one.